Good morning everyone. I hope that you are having a wonderful day, and if you haven't seen my channel before, I'm Laura, and today I've teamed up with a bunch of other ladies here on YouTube, and we are going to be sharing with you some easy, healthy, whole food recipes, and I am so excited. So each person has chosen a whole food that they're going to feature, and all of the recipes are going to be they all have 10 ingredients or less, and they're all made entirely from whole foods, so no processed foods in these recipes. The reason being, regardless of what diet you're on, whether you're on a vegan diet, a vegetarian diet, a paleo diet, or anything in between, I think none of us will argue that some of the healthiest, well, the healthiest food is whole food. But a lot of times we don't know what to do with whole foods, or it seems overwhelming to try and cook them. So we have given you some tips to get started. So I will share my recipe here, and also in the box below I've put the link to the playlist. So check out all the other great recipes, and hopefully this will get you inspired. And if you want to jump on board, I am leaving the link open for a few days, so you can contact me and I'll give you all the rules and rundown, and feel free to add your recipe to the link. So without further ado, here's my recipe. Hey guys, I'm going to show you how to make kale salad, which you can also turn into kale chips if you want. So to get started, you're going to want some kale, any variety. You can use the curly kale, you can use the flat kale. You may want a lemon. Some people don't like lemon on theirs, but you can try it and see if you like lemon juice with yours. I'm using it today. You'll want some nutritional yeast. That's really important. It makes it super, super yummy. And you'll also want some olive oil. If you're making the kale chips, you'll want regular olive oil. If you're making the salad, you'll want extra virgin olive oil. And if you're making kale chips, you'll want a little bit of salt too. So go ahead and take your bowl, and the first step is going to be taking the kale off the stalk. And the best way to do that is just to peel up a little bit of the corner and then just slide the rest of the leaf right off. And this is a really great way to get the kids involved too. Some people don't like sliding it off like this and prefer just to cut it off with a knife. I find that takes a little bit longer, but it really doesn't matter. You can get it off however you want to get it off. So you're going to want to take all your kale and just get the leaves off and in the bowl. Once you have your leaves in the bowl, you are going to want to dump that bowl out, and you are just going to want to cut these up. Now, if you plan to turn this into kale chips, you're going to want your pieces a little bit bigger, or else they'll just turn into crumbles in the stove. But if you're going to make kale salad, you want them chopped up as finely as you can, because that's going to help you get more of the nutrients out. And if you want to, sometimes I'll just throw the kale into a food processor and blend it up that way. But you're going to want those pieces small, pretty small. So just go ahead and chop them up. Once you have your kale all chopped up, it's time to put it back into the bowl. And this is where you can really get creative. You can actually use just about any seasoning that you want to. At this point, I'm turning it into kale salad. If you're going to use kale chips, I recommend just a tiny little bit of olive oil. Salt it up, put nutritional yeast on it, pop it in the oven on low, maybe 350. I'm making kale salad, so I'm using oil. Now, I used too much oil. I'm used to having more kale at a time than this. But the key to whether you're doing kale salad or kale chips to making them really good is to get in there and massage your kale. Now, it's best to do it with two hands. As you can see, my left hand is currently covered in Band-Aids, so I didn't want to get that all in there. But you want to massage, and the longer that you massage, the softer you can get that kale. That is the key to good kale. If you have not had massaged kale salad and you've only tried kale just off the stem, you haven't really tried kale salad. So get in there, massage it, get your kids to help you. And like I said, this is too much oil. You can actually really see the oil really well on the kale. You want just enough oil to barely cover your kale. So I'm going to keep mixing this, and I'll show you what to do next. Once your kale is good and massaged, this is where you're going to add any seasonings. Now for this one, I'm using some lemon juice. You don't have to add any other liquid if you don't want to. Some people like to add chili flakes or chili peppers and get it spicy. Some people like to add garlic at this point, or pepper. This is where you can get creative. I had my boys helping me here get the fresh lemon juice squeezed in, and again, I used too much because, like I said, I'm used to having much more kale at a time. than I do here. Okay, so after you put any juice on, this is where you're going to add your dry seasoning ingredient. I'm not giving you amounts because it's all really to taste. Whoops, dropped the camera there. It's all really to taste. So start with just a very little bit of it and then add more. Taste it as you go along. This is also the time where you're going to add, if you're going to be doing kale chips or putting it in the oven, you're going to add salt. Other things that I've heard of people adding are chili flakes, garlic. I mean, you can really just get creative and play around with what you're going to put in there. You're going to want to massage it again once you get all those flavors in, and really massage it. Now, if this is a salad, massage it well and then let it sit in the fridge for a little bit so that the flavors really stick in there. But the softer your kale is, the yummier that it's going to be. So here you're going to see my boys are going to try it here. Timothy loves the kale salad. He loves it just as kale salad. Samuel will eat the kale salad, but he prefers it once it's been baked into kale chips. And if you're doing that, you can just pop it in the oven at 350, check on it every few minutes and stir it around until it's nice and crispy, and it's so good that way. So I hope you guys liked this recipe. I hope that this is something quick and easy that you can do. Feel free to leave any questions and comments in the box below, and check out all the other videos in this playlist so you can find easy, healthy, and whole food recipes.